Get ready to take a musical journey with one of the most successful and influential musicians of the 20th century. He's a British singer, composer and pianist who's sold hundreds of millions of records and won multiple Grammy Awards. With a blend of pop, rock and flamboyant showmanship, he's as unique as Elvis Presley himself. That's right, we're talking about the one and only Elton John. From Rocketman to Candle in the Wind, his iconic hits have become the soundtrack of our lives. So let's hit play and dive into the magical world of Elton John. Let's get rolling. Who is Elton John? Elton John's music career is a fascinating tale of a prodigious talent who emerged from a London suburb to become one of the biggest music icons of the 20th century. From a young age, his musical gift was evident, and by the time he released his first American album in 1970, he'd already become a major international star. With a unique blend of pop and rock styles, he created a string of chart-topping hits, including Crocodile Rock, Philadelphia Freedom, and Candle in the Wind, that continue to be beloved by fans around the world. His success wasn't limited to the music industry, as he also found critical acclaim on Broadway with his score for Billy Elliott, which won 10 Tony Awards. With induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994 and a knighthood in 1998, Elton John's legacy as a cultural icon remains as strong as ever. Early life and career in England. Singer, songwriter, composer and icon, Elton John was born Reginald Kenneth Dwight on March 25, 1947, in Pinner, Middlesex, England. His musical journey began when he taught himself to play the piano at just 4 years old and went on to win a scholarship to the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London. John's unique sound and larger-than-life personality have made him an unforgettable figure in pop culture, and his string of hits continues to inspire and entertain fans around the globe. Elton John's early years were marked by a difficult relationship with his father, Stanley Dwight, a member of the Royal Air Force. When his parents divorced during his teenage years, John found himself at odds with his father over his future plans. Despite his father's objections, John was drawn to the sounds of early rock and roll and set his sights on a career in pop music. At the young age of 17, John dropped out of school and began pursuing his dreams, joining the band Bluesology and piecing together his now legendary stage name from the names of two fellow bandmates. After answering a songwriter ad for Liberty Records in 1967, Elton John teamed up with Bernie Taupin to write songs for other artists. The duo's fortunes changed in 1969 with the release of John's first album, Empty Sky, featuring songs by John and Taupin. Although the album failed to take off, their next effort, simply titled Elton John, shot John to fame with the hit single Your Song. The following years saw a string of chart-topping hits for John, including fan favorites like Crocodile Rock, Beanie and the Jets, and Island Girl. During this period, John also released several best-selling albums, including the acclaimed Goodbye Yellow Brick Road in 1973 and Rock of the Westies in 1975. Memorable songs and energetic live performances. Elton John was one of the most celebrated artists of the 1970s, known not just for his chart-topping hits, but also for his unforgettable live shows. His flamboyant costumes and quirky glasses became an essential part of his performance. But what inspired John's unique style, and how did it help him stand out from other musical icons of the time? In a revealing interview with W magazine, John explained the thinking behind his bold fashion choices. "I wasn't a sex symbol like Bowie, Mark Bolan or Freddie Mercury," he said. "So I dressed more on the humorous side, because if I was going to be stuck at the piano for 2 hours, I was going to make people look at me." Don't Go Breaking My Heart. In 1976, John hit the top of the charts again with Don't Go Breaking My Heart, his duet with Kiki Dee. He soon decided to take a break from music, focusing his energies on the soccer team that he co-owned in England. Around this time, John also publicly announced that he was bisexual. He later came out as a gay man. At the time, John was ridiculed and taunted for his sexuality. The controversy died down and he made a triumphant return to music in 1979 with the album A Single Man. Little Jeannie, Empty Garden. While not producing smash hits in the 1980s, John still did well on the charts. Some of the most memorable songs from this period included the ballads Little Jeannie and Empty Garden, Hey Hey Johnny, the latter written as a tribute to his friend John Lennon of the Beatles, who had been killed in 1980. Candle in the Wind, 1997. While he enjoyed all of the recognition and praise, he soon found himself rocked by grief. During the summer of 1997, John lost two good friends, fashion designer Gianni Versace and Princess Diana. He reworked one of his classic songs, Candle in the Wind, as a tribute to Princess Diana, with the song's proceeds going to a charitable trust established in her honor. Candle in the Wind, 1997, proved to be a tremendous success, selling more than 30 million copies that year. Later albums, books, Broadway, and movie. Despite his massive success in the 1970s, Elton John's career was far from over. In fact, he continued to produce new music and collaborate with other artists, showcasing his musical versatility and dedication to his craft. In 2006, John released The Captain and the Kid, a follow-up to his earlier autobiographical album, Captain Fantastic, and The Brown Dirt Cowboy. The album's release was met with critical acclaim, proving that John's creative spark was as strong as ever. In 2010, John teamed up with legendary musician Leon Russell to produce The Union, a collaboration that led to a joint tour. 3 years later, John released The Diving Board, his 30th studio album, produced by the renowned T-Bone Burnett. With each new release, Elton John demonstrated his enduring passion for music and his commitment to creating innovative and engaging work that would resonate with fans for years to come. In February 2016, John released his 33rd studio album, Wonderful Crazy Night, to generally positive reviews. The album featured the Elton John Band, with whom he last collaborated a decade prior. Billy Elliott the Musical and Rocketman. Elton John's musical career extended beyond his recordings. He was instrumental in bringing Billy Elliott the Musical to Broadway, where it became a massive hit. He also produced and composed for the 2011 animated film Romeo and Juliet. Despite toning down his stage persona, he remained a popular live act, performing with music legends such as Ozzy Osbourne, Eric Clapton, and Paul McCartney to celebrate Queen Elizabeth's Diamond Jubilee. Around this time, it was revealed that Elton John and his husband worked on creating a biopic called Rocketman. The film, starring Taron Egerton, was released in May 2019 at the Cannes Film Festival, featuring both whimsical musical scenes and a realistic portrayal of John's sexuality. The same year, John published his autobiography, Me, revealing intimate details of his personal and professional life. John and Taupin, who had collaborated for more than 50 years, finally got their first shared award when they won the Golden Globe for Best Original Song in January 2020 for their work on the Rocketman biopic. They followed up their success by also winning the Academy Award for Best Original Song the next month. The winning track was titled I'm Gonna Love Me Again, a nod to John's journey of self-acceptance and growth. Farewell Tour. Elton John announced his retirement from touring in 2018. He'd planned the Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour, set to kick off in September of that year. John cited his desire to spend more time with his husband David and their kids, as his priorities had changed. In an interview, he stated that he did not want to miss too much of his children's upbringing, and that he was looking forward to spending more time at home. In addition to his retirement announcement, John also ended his Las Vegas residency in 2018.
Life is all you.
The residency, named the $1 Million Piano, concluded with a final performance on May 17th at Caesars Palace. Substance abuse issues and Elton John AIDS Foundation. After years of struggling with substance abuse issues, including cocaine addiction, Elton John checked into rehab in 1990. His sobriety was a turning point in his life, and he created a charitable organization to support AIDS research. Founded in 1992, the Elton John AIDS Foundation has since raised over $400 million for HIV/AIDS programs worldwide. How did John's struggles with addiction impact his life and career? What motivated him to create the Elton John AIDS Foundation? And how has it contributed to the fight against HIV/AIDS? John has been a long-time advocate for charitable causes and arts organizations beyond his own Elton John AIDS Foundation. For instance, he's lent his support to the Globe Theatre and the Royal Academy of Music. In light of the pandemic, he also stepped up to host the I Heart Living Room Concert for America in March 2020, which featured virtual performances by major artists like Alicia Keys and Dave Grohl to raise funds for COVID-19 relief. Husband and sons. In 1993, John attended a dinner party where he met David Furnish, with whom he would later form a long-term romantic relationship. They eventually married on December 21, 2005, in a civil ceremony that coincided with the first day of the Civil Partnership Act 2004. The couple welcomed their first child, Zachary Furnish John, through surrogacy in December 2010, followed by their second child, Elijah Joseph Daniel Furnish John, in January 2013. After 10 years of civil partnership, the couple officially tied the knot on December 21, 2014, taking advantage of new laws allowing gay marriage in the UK. John was previously married to Renata Blau from 1984 to 1988. From his early days as a shy piano prodigy to his flamboyant costumes and legendary live shows and impressive charitable work, this is the fascinating life of Elton John. We explored his musical journey, his struggles with addiction, and his personal life, including his love story with David Furnish and their beautiful family. Elton John's legacy as a rock icon, songwriter, and philanthropist is an inspiration to us all. We hope you got some value out of this biography. If so, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more. See you in the next video.